Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday I finally got some news on the boards for the Stourbridge Town layout. See you in a minute. Now, it's been quite a long sorry story getting the boards sorted for this. I was originally going to make them myself, and then I thought I would try some of the new laser cut boards that you get that are far more accurate and perfectly precision made, and it takes an awful lot of the hassle out of getting the layout started. Unfortunately, the guy that I wanted to get them from stopped production in September last year because he got too many orders. So I put a couple of emails out to him and said, as soon as you know where you're going, let me know. And of course then COVID hit and all sorts of things, and it wasn't until I think it was late October that he got back to me and said, I've finally cleared the backlog, which is good to see in many ways. Do you still want any boards? So I put the order in and they've arrived today. So let's start and have a look and see what I've got for my money and see how they work. And so once again we're probably pushing the limits of the shed a bit, but let's have a look and see what we've got for our money. These are going to be a completely self-contained unit that will contain all of the lighting. I think I've mentioned earlier that one of the problems with my other layout is that it takes an hour and a half to put up and an hour and a half to take down. This sort of thing, usually, if you get it right, just take your stock off and hopefully within 10 or 15 minutes you can be walking out of the building with it. There are two boards, 5 foot long, so they should go in the car without too much fuss. And again, one of the other problems is that the lighting rig and all the other stuff on my other layout completely fills the car right up to the roof, and it's just a nightmare to actually deal with. So, out of packaging off, let's take a look. This looks, I thought they were MDF actually, but they are, it looks like they're plywood, which is very nice, birch ply I think. So that's a bonus. That's something like normally there. It normally costs more to get a birch ply used in the boards, but this is all birch ply. Very nice indeed by the look of it. Let's take all this little wrap off. And I'll get a construction kit of parts that I'll no doubt lose. I'll no doubt find a bit of wood and think, oh, this is useful, and use it, and then realise I've cut up a bit of the board, but hopefully not. So that's the sort of thing we've got. Very nice, very substantial, very nice finish on them. Birch ply is beautiful to work with, certainly. And essentially it's just slot and tab construction. I'll have to put some joiners on to join the two boards together. They leave you the holes for them. I think I might have to do some modification there. But essentially all you're doing now is getting pieces of material and slotting it together. tabs like that, and it should all go together nicely. I need to just get the whole thing out, get all the parts laid down and see where we are. I'm hoping they've got it wrong. I mean, it doesn't feel wrong. It says, yes, so the end piece says 4 foot by 18 inch, and of course I want 5 foot, but these are the longitudinals, and it says 5 foot by 18 inches scenic photo plank board. So that's the size they'll be. As I say, that will then just hopefully slot into the end somehow, and I don't quite know yet what there is there, what bit that is. Looks like there's a bit of jiggery pokery to go on to understand how it all goes together, which at the moment, that might be a top, I don't know. But I will, yeah, I'll get all the bits out first, and we'll come back to you when we're getting somewhere with it. And a bit further into the package, what else have we got in there? Got some fixing bolts, some little adapters I'll show you in a minute, and the screws to be able to screw the thing together. Comprehensive set of instructions by the look of it. I've just had a quick scan through them, and they seem pretty straightforward and clear. The only real thing that I've got to do anything with, that I've got to buy anything extra, normally with any sort of model railway layout that you're taking out on the road, the biggest problem is the joint between two baseboards, because the slightest misalignment there will cause chaos with things coming off the track and all sorts of things. What they supply you with are some bolts to put through the holes here, here and here, and they say they should in most cases be adequate. I'm not entirely in tune with that, because over time these things act like a file. It makes the hole slightly bigger. There's already a bit of slot there, and you can probably yes, you've got a little bit of room to manoeuvre and adjust it yourself, but essentially if you put these things through, there is room for those boards to move, you know, sufficient that it would cause a problem. But they have thought of that. The standard solution that what they supply you with are a pair of bungs, effectively, that will fill in. It's a reinforcing piece at the back. Just get that out of the way. There's a reinforcing backing piece there like that goes in, and you screw in the little reinforcing bung there and just put a plug in it, and that will get you about right. They have done this for a reason. The accepted way of dealing with joints, and what most of the railway boys use, myself included, are pattern makers' dowels. These are things that are used in the foundry casting boxes that they use to cast steel and iron items, and they ensure that you get a perfect result every time. These are effectively something you've got to buy yourself. As it happens, I've got some up in the roof. They are a good old-fashioned engineering solution, and what you have is a metal dowel and hopefully a metal rod plate, and those go together perfectly accurately with no slop whatsoever, and they will work. And this is why they've got those little holes there for the screw holes. These are designed, it looks like I've got to ease the hole very slightly, but these are designed to sit there, and the face, I see what it is now, yes. If you're not using them, you put the plug in. If you are using them, you'll need to lift the surface up slightly. That's what those are for. Got it now. They'll go up to there, and then these will go and fit flush once you've just eased that out a bit. It looks like it's just got to be fettled slightly. The normal way of dealing with it is that you fix one of these to one end of your board, and then you put the dowel in, and then you squeeze the other board up, and that little pin on the back will give you an exact place for drilling the hole. But we don't need to do that in this instance. So I've fortunately got two of those, so that is something that will solve that problem. Next thing to do really is that they recommend that you give it all a coat of clear varnish, or some sort of paint anyway, just to protect them and help them live longer. And I shall be doing that because, again, one of the biggest problems you get is damp, moisture, wherever you store these things, and that in itself with timber means things will move. So I shall get these painted with clear varnish. It will not only keep them looking nice, but it will keep them more stable, I think. And it's probably easiest to do it before I even use them. We'll get that done. It's not going to be a particularly photogenic thing to watch, so I won't bother with that now. And then I think I'm going to have to put these away flat somewhere, because at the moment I'm stuck in the middle of so many other things that this is not going to be something that I need to be doing at the moment. And the longer I leave them lying around in here, the more likely I am to do something stupid, like cutting a bit off the end of one because it looks like a nice bit of plywood, or who knows what, losing a bit, or they will distort. I'm amazed that normally if I cut pieces of birch ply or anything and leave it lying around, it comes out like a banana a couple of days later. These have been in here now for a week, and they are all still nicely flat and true, but that won't stay like that forever, I'm sure. Well, that was of interest. I've got to get those painted sides done, or clear varnished anyway, so that they're protected, and then probably we'll do a video in a few weeks' time when we actually put the boards together. The other big problem I've got at the moment is where the hell they're going to go, because everywhere is full. So it may well be to wait a week or two until I've got a little bit of madness out of the way, get rid of the bus, get the garage a bit tidier, and then we can start and probably work in here and find somewhere to put them in the house once they're made, because they're going to be 5 foot long, which is getting on to being slightly awkward. So see how we get on in the future. Hopefully we'll be doing something different next week, and I'll see you then. Bye.